Hello guys, welcome back to Inside Electronics. So in today's episode, let's take a look at another hot air gun, this time made by Powertex, and it is also a 2000 watt unit. The model number is this one. So this one is a little bit different from the one which we have seen in the last video, which is this Eastman branded one. We have already done a teardown of this one. You can see that by clicking the I button up here. So the main difference between this one and this old one is that this has a single switch that changes both the fan speed and temperature. But in this case you can see there is a rotary dial for adjusting the temperature. You can see low to high mentioned in that, and there is a flip switch or like a toggle switch which has mentioned high and low. That is for the fan speed. So it has a separate dedicated fan speed controller as well as a separate temperature controller. So I'm going to turn this thing on. So just headphone users, just keep your volume a little bit low because it may sound a little bit high. So you can see this one, you can see the different fan speed going on, and while the fan is running you can see even if we turn the temperature control dial, it has no effect on the fan speed because both are controlled separately inside the unit. So let's take a look at how does it work and what is the difference between the circuits of this one and the Eastman branded hot air guns, because obviously this has separate speed control and temperature control options. So we will take a look at how it basically works. So inside you can see the circuit board and a rotary dial on that. This is the switch that controls the fan speed, and let me give you a close-up of this one. So this is like DPDT slide switch, which is common, but this is rated for a higher power capability. And you can see a common wire, the white one that comes from the AC mains is common, and two wires are going to the main control circuit board, which is for the fan speed basically. And let's take a look at the temperature control side. You can see this black piece has a center pole which is linked to this particular piece that is linked to the potentiometer that is right there, and there is a triac in here. So this is obviously a triac based temperature controller. I'll put the datasheet of this one on the screen right now. It's a very common high current triac, of course in a heatsink because it has to handle 2000 watts of heat. So this is a very good example of a cheap but a quality item. It has this triac based speed controller for the hot air part or the heating element, and you can see the class X2 capacitor that they have used for the rectifier section for the motor. Obviously the motor is still running on DC. It is a 24 volt motor, and you can see underneath the bridge rectifier configuration you can see the 4 diodes that make up the full bridge rectifier, and the capacitor is actually used as an extra not an extra but for the power supply for the board to function, because there is a chip in here guys. There is a chip, and unfortunately like most of the Chinese item, the number in this one is rubbed off. So I have no idea what is this chip used in this circuit, because this is an example of a classic triac based dimmer. Perhaps the chip is what controlling the phase angle of this one, or like shall I say the triggering of the SCR. I have no clue what does it do because we have no datasheet available. And taking a look at the heater coil, you can see only 3 wires coming from the heater element side compared to a lot of wires in the last one. That is because most of the control temperature control in this particular model is done on the circuit, not like in the Eastman one. It's a bit different. You can watch that in that separate video. So this is the impeller, or the part that moves the air around. It sucks air from the back and it pushes it to through the front side. So you can hear it right now, it's spinning up. Headphone users, please adjust with it because I'm doing a voiceover right now. This is a high-speed fan, and The fan is, as I said, is running on 24 volt DC, and here is it running in a close-up. And there is one thing that is common for the fan speed in this one and the old unit, which I believe you can see in the background. A coil is getting hot in the background. It's because they are using the resistive element, or like, the very cheap form of cheap and effective form of reducing the voltage down to 24 volt. They are using a series resistance, and because it is a hot air gun, it does not matter, because the function of this one is to produce heat. So the rectifier or the step down, the voltage stepping down, just contributes some extra temperature to it. You can see it is running really hot, and that adds up to the overall wattage of this unit, because they want to drop the 230 volts down to 24 volt, which in this case they are using the heating element themselves. So it just adds up. So let's take a look at the heating element side, and like previously, there is a mica coating inside, which is to prevent any direct physical contact between the heating element and the metal bodywork. And inside you can see a similar construction. There is a thermal fuse for protection, of course, and the lower thinner winding is for the fan. This is what stepping down the 240 volts down to 24 volts, so almost 200 volts it's getting dropped across that particular element, and that's what makes it glowing red hot. But it does not matter, because it adds up to the overall temperature output. And in this particular case, there is one common wire which is a neutral, and the unlike the center type configuration of the last one, this one, the entire coil is just one single piece. There is no center tap or anything in here, because in here the temperature controller is actually the SCR, or the triaxial I say. So it does not require any extra center tap configuration or anything for the temperature control. And the remaining one wire is for the motor. So the neutral is common. One wire is for stepping down the voltage to 24 volts for the motor. The remaining wire is for the entire heating element itself, and it uses a safety fuse, and it also has bimetallic strip inside, which you can see. So it has multiple levels of protection against thermal overrun. The first thing being the thermal fuse, the second thing being the bimetallic strip element. So I think if the temperature exceeds a certain point, the bimetallic strip should open, and it should open the whole circuit, which will bring the temperature down. So if it fails to do so, if for any reason, if the bimetallic strip got stuck or something, then it will continue to pass the current through it, which will increase the temperature of the heating element. And then when it exceeds a certain threshold value, which is above the threshold of this fuse, this thermal fuse, the fuse is going to blow up, which will cut out the the heating coil from the AC mains, thereby preventing a thermal runaway. So for the price of it, it is really well thought of. The designers have done a really good job of giving it adequate protection. But the only bad thing I feel about this one is the unknown chip, because if something goes wrong, and if it so happens to be the chip is the problem, then we cannot do anything regarding that. In that sense, the old one is much better, because it is easily serviceable with lower component count. So that is all about it for this particular video, guys. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts or anything, just ask me in the comments. So that's all about it. Yep, see you in another video.